Fewer Americans are calling themselves Christians these days. A recent Pew Research study showed the Christian population in the U.S. has dropped to 70%. More than a third of millennials say they are unaffiliated with any faith, and 3% call themselves atheists here in the U.S., a small bump from 2007. But there's a megachurch in Leawood that is bucking that trend. Church of the Resurrection, already the largest United Methodist church in the entire country, is building even bigger. But some wonder if the $90 million sanctuary is excessive or if it's really God's work.
I wake up in the morning and I just go, God, thank you that I get to do this and be a part of it.
The Church of the Resurrection on 137th and Roe is big. It encompasses 70 acres and 20,000 members and 5 to 6 services each Sunday, and it still needs room to grow.
I think they'll say when they drive past, I think they'll say, I want to go inside and see what's inside.
The United Methodist Church is adding a new $90 million sanctuary. Last year, the church added almost 1,500 new members. Its current sanctuary is so big, one volunteer uses binoculars in the back.
So you can see, just to get from here to here is 3 city blocks.
A lot of success for a pastor who in 1990 started the church with just 90 people who met in the only space available, a funeral home.
Well, that's where our name came from. Church of the Resurrection seemed like a good name for a church meeting in a mortuary.
But today, Hamilton's church needs another kind of sanctuary, one that will allow the church to continue to grow.
Is that stained glass?
This is stained glass, and that's what you see right here. This will be the stained glass window.
Built, he says, to proclaim the gospel to non-believers and the curious, the people who inspired him to give his life to the ministry at the age of 16.
There are some who think we shouldn't be building.
And others who have questioned if $90 million is excessive.
A lot of people have said to me, is that something God would really be happy with?
Right. And we think so.
Hamilton says the church leadership overwhelmingly voted in favor of it, and the congregation in just 1 year has pledged $65 million of the $90 million total.
You're constantly having to say, wait a minute, this is something that's going to actually increase what's done for the poor.
A new building with God at the center, he says, will grow the congregation and grow their 3 other local churches and current $4.5 million in missions each year.
Which means they're doing more in mission, more in serving people in the community, and more in reaching out to their neighbors and their friends.
Well, Pastor Hamilton says to put the $90 million price tag in perspective, Church of the Resurrection in Leawood is about the size of 150 average United Methodist churches. Pretty big. The sanctuary should be complete in Easter of 2017.